Hey everyone, Steven here with a fresh off the couch reaction to episode 5 of AHSOKA. Y'all, this quite possibly could be the best episode of the entire season so far, and it's not just because Sabine is nowhere to be found in this episode, although that did help. Um, I would have to say that this is probably the most cinematic episode of the entire season as well. And I think part of the reason that is because it was a longer episode. With credits, it came out to be around a little over 50 minutes, whereas a lot of the episodes have been anywhere from 37 to 45 minutes with credits, but this one was a good 45 minutes worth of content before the credits even rolled, and that allowed the story to breathe. It allowed this story to expand. It allowed the cast members that were there and the characters that were there an opportunity to sink into their characters just a little bit more. And it showed in the episode. It was so very good. I was wrong about her about the map being burned into Ahsoka's hand, but what I did like about this episode was actually the callbacks. As I've told you guys before, I am not as big of a Star Wars fan as I am a Star Trek fan. And so I haven't seen a lot of the canon stuff that has happened, like the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels and all of that. I haven't seen a lot of that. And because of that, a lot of what happened in this episode, because I would say about a third of the episode is a good flashback with Ahsoka and Anakin. And they're fighting in the Clone Wars and in another war that Anakin wasn't a part of. But the point is, even though I was unfamiliar with the specifics of the Clone Wars and the other war that they did a flashback to, I was thoroughly engaged because why they were there and the conversations that they were having in the midst of what was going on was important for what is going to happen in the future of this show. And I really appreciated that. They talked about a lot of deep stuff. And I loved this so much. I loved how they would do flashes of Darth Vader as Anakin was either walking away from Ahsoka or walking towards her. You'd have flashes of Darth Vader. And in their last scene together, his lightsaber actually turns red. And it was so good. The Hayden Christensen part of this was the best part of this particular episode. As I said, I was wrong about the map being burned into her hand. What ended up happening was they used I guess, space whales to figure out where Sabine had been taken. And speaking of Star Trek, I could not help but think that this was a ripoff of Star Trek. Which one was it? Star Trek 4, A Voyage Home, right? Yes, Star Trek for A Voyage Home. I was watching it and I was thinking, oh, this is a rip-off of Star Trek. And so, there's nothing new under the sun, but I just found that interesting. I also, going back to how this was very cinematic, the whales and the CGI, how they created these whales that floated through the atmosphere and eventually floated through space was just incredible to see. Very often in television shows, the CGI can be kind of iffy and wonky, but in this, it looked really crisp, it looked real, and it looked pretty awesome. Another callback to Star Wars Episode 3 was them actually going into the mouth of a whale when Luke, Leia, and Han and Chewbacca were in an asteroid that didn't turn out to be an asteroid. It was episode 5? I thought it was episode 4. Episode 5, my bad. Episode 5, where they thought they were in an asteroid and it ended up being a creature of some sort. So I gave a call back to that as well. Anyway, I really, 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 really enjoyed this episode of Ahsoka. Like I said, I think it's the best episode so far, and not just because Sabine wasn't in it. And it's also not because it was nostalgic, because again, coming from a person that hasn't seen a lot of the canon stuff, all of this was pretty much new to me. So again, best episode of the season so far. How many butter pumps am I? Wait. Before we even get to that, I also want to talk about Jason. Star Wars has a real thing about making its content family friendly, so much so that it can sometimes become grating and jarring and annoying, like Jar Jar Binks. When Jason showed up on the scene like 2 episodes ago, I thought for sure that he was going to be one of those kiddie-friendly, family-friendly kind of annoying characters that they put in there just to put him in there to meet their kiddie-friendly quota, whatever that is. And come to find out, his father was actually a Jedi, and because of that, Jason is also sensitive, and it's because of Jason being sensitive to the Force that they were actually able to find Ahsoka in this episode. So he played a vital part in this episode, and he wasn't there just to meet some kiddie quota, and I really appreciated that. And I hope that this isn't the last that we see of Jason. I hope that someone somewhere will make him a Padawan of some sort, because of course he is sensitive in that way. So how many butter pumps am I going to give episode 5 of Ahsoka? 5 butter pumps. That's right, 5 butter pumps. It was so good. I have 0 notes on this episode at all. It was just that good. Ian, how many butter pumps?
I give it 4.
Dave, how many butter pumps? 4 butter pumps. So there you go, everybody. Top tier episode of Ahsoka. I hope that the episodes from here on out only get better and better, because this was phenomenal. So now I turn it over to you. What did you think of episode 5 of Ahsoka? How many butter pumps would you give it? Sound off down below. I want to hear all about it. Thank you so much, Butter Babies, for watching, for commenting, and for subscribing. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.